Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and we are back with another Twitter thread. Today I want to talk about a specific type of overhyped garbage. We all know that frequently, duelists will tell you that specific Yu-Gi-Oh cards are unbeatable for X, Y, or Z reason. But a lot of the time, that reason is because in the side deck, they represent an unbeatable silver bullet against a singular strategy. It's hard not to fall for this trick. Malice is basically prevented from being the best deck in the history of time by the fact that people can just put Lancias, Meowls, and Chaos Hunters in the side deck, so the same must be true for every potentially top strategy, right? Well, depends on the quality of the card you're playing. Some, like the one you see in front of you, are unplayable dog shit no matter what is good, despite the fact that YouTubers might tell you otherwise. If you don't know why the Eye of Truth is picking up in price, it's because it causes your opponent to play with their hand revealed, and if your opponent has their hand revealed, they can't reveal cards that are already being revealed, thus cutting off the effects of all of the Vanquish Soul monsters that are about to be the cornerstone of the Vanquish Soul Canine deck that is expected to be extremely powerful. That's not good enough. Anyway, let's see what silver bullets you have been told to load up into your non-functional gun. The problem with Striker was there were a ton of cards that were good to board against Striker. Not on that list, Watt Kinetic Puppeteer, which could move one of the Link monsters to a main monster zone, turning off your spell cards. Cool. Single problem. Speaking of Striker outs, Ren's got a great one. This card was extremely hyped as a way to out the Gouki Extra Link. One small issue. Gouki Extra Link at the time was making Gumblar and hand-ripping you for 4. So in order for this to work, you had to either be left with a one-card starter, and top deck this, or vice versa. Dude, people were playing TTC Toon Cyber Dragon. They were like, you don't understand. I'm going to be able to special summon Toon Cyber Dragon, and then using the power of Mega Fleet, break the U-Link. And I went, oh my god, that's crazy. What's the next step? They went, what do you mean next step? I said, well, they've got 4 other monsters that are all linked together and prevent, like, destruction and targeting. So what's the next step? Dude, I don't know what to say about this card. This guy is always suspect for play whenever there is ever a card that names a card. It beats Black Goat Laughs. It beats Crossout Designator. It beats fucking Sales Ban. Why would you not play it? You would have to be an absolute idiot to ever fall for this. In 2018, Sam took Sidra to a 4th place regional finish. The deck profile hid 9 cards from the side deck to prevent the secret tech from leaking, one of which was Forbidden Apocrypha. A month later, it was revealed, with this card specifically for Thunder Dragon. He said it was absolutely trash in the matchup. I like the idea of hiding individual cards, not because you found the goo, but because a card choice was so embarrassing you don't want anyone to figure it out. Every time Dark World is playable, these spike and they never perform. It's inevitable. The Gemini Imps, if your opponent activates a spell card, trap card, or monster effect that could make you discard when it resolves, can be sent from the hand to the graveyard to negate the activation, destroy it, then draw 1 card. It's really funny that people thought this was going to be the Dark World killer, since Dark World is like 90 cards that all discard. Oh great, Gemini Imps will prevent one of the 9 effects in my opponent's hand from resolving. I see this one constantly. Simmel Archfiends. This turn, neither player can special summon monsters with the same type as a card they already control. If you don't control 2 or more of the same card types, all Ritual Fusion, Synchro Xyz, and Link monsters gain 500 attack. Every single format, people tell me, you don't understand. This is functionally Dimensional Barrier, except it can also hit links. That means it's good. This card is not good. It's not remotely good. It is a special summon stopper, but not an effect negator. So like, there's still a bunch of stupid shit you can do with a significant amount of the powerful cards that lurk in these mono type strategies. We have found it unsuitable for play in fucking Saga. Spellbound, just a perennial example of this card. All face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be tributed or used as material for a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summon until the end of the turn. Reads really good, sees 0 play. Bonus points for the secret rare print of this card, making the image almost indistinguishable from one of those stroke simulation pictures. Probably the ugliest secret in the game, and not helped by the fact that the print quality was so bad during this period, it's just bleeding all over. Turns out a card that prevents your opponent from performing a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summoning with the monsters they currently control is not good. This one's unthinkable. People were hyping this card as a Mitsurugi counter so much that our head judge had to give a public ruling on it during regionals. Samsara. Monster cards tributed for a ritual summon are returned to the owner's deck instead of being sent to the graveyard. So the idea with respect to Mitsurugi Mitsurugi cards is Mitsurugi Ritual permits you to use materials from your deck as tributes for the ritual summon. But if those cards go back into the deck instead of the graveyard, what happens? Mostly this was an exercise in frustrating judges. It was never anything particularly even remotely relevant. Cutting off Mitsurugi Ritual isn't going to stop a Mitsurugi Yugioh player. Like, you're going to need more than this. And if you're playing an unsearchable card that automatically wins you the game, you have a lot better options than this against that deck. Okay, but seriously, what happens? Are you ready for me to tell you the unfortunate truth of the matter? We still do not have an official ruling. Ask your head judge. You could just link that monster off for a different colored one. Faye's got a good one. Remember when this was touted as the card to beat Sprite and the card to beat Yugioh and the card to beat Satellar Knight and the card to beat Burning Abyss? This card has been the floodgate with the most potential since its print. It's crazy that this thing has never seen anything resembling competitive success. Neither player can special summon monsters with the same level as those they control. For a decade, people thought this was going to be relevant. It hasn't been yet. Doug's got a great one. Power Sync Stone is constantly hyped up. I don't think it has ever really seen consistent metagame play. Occasionally you'll lose to it at locals. It's like a shit-ass skill drain, but frequently people will be like, no, you need to be boarding in for this going first. Like, for me, I want all floodgates destroyed up to this point. When people ask me, when do you stop? You know, are you going to kill every card that interacts with your opponent and is a continuous trap? I go, no. Everything better than Power Sync Stone has to go. Power Sync Stone and lower, it can stick around. That's fine. House of Champs with the funniest one ever. The ARG team pumping this to $3 for Burning Abyss will always be funny to me. Little bit of history behind this one. This card was not played against Burning Abyss. It was hyped to be played to see if a bunch of people at ARG could force a buyout. The answer was yes. The answer was yes. This one has happened about a dozen times, and I know some people who would vehemently disagree with this card as an unplayable piece of bait. I was both a victim of this and a proponent. When info was coming out, Ivy had convinced me this was the sauce to beat Fiendsmith Snake Eye, to the point I also convinced people at locals to buy a playset. I cited 3 of it for the 2024 NAWCQ. Did it work? There was one game I remember playing against Foxy in which no material was the difference maker, and I was like, uh-oh. I bought 3 of this card thinking it would be good into tier. Was it? It's so fucking funny to be like, oh yeah, this is gonna fix tier good. And it's a card that gets run over by Shiren. Royal Roytom has probably the best answer for this ever. Is Neko Main King a counter to tier? Yes, but it's also the brickiest brick to ever brick. And you know what else was a counter to tier? Tier! If your deck is being sent to the graveyard by an opponent's effect, you would much prefer to hit Tearlaments than randomly hit a one of. Just play on their turn. All in all, it's not hard to see why people fall for these. The history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is littered with terrible individual cards that had corner case applications. They're some of our favorite things to talk about. So it's unsurprising that people tend to latch on to potential new ones. Unfortunately, these cards are probably going to rest in that category, potential, for the rest of their time. Don't buy Eye of Truth. All right, do you guys want to do a little bit of the making fun of people who are wrong? Dire, System Down was like the only reasonable way to get rid of both the ABC monsters and Cosmo. Hasher, this card is good today. Dark Ruler No More has been like mission critical like a dozen times. What are you talking about? This card is really good. No, this really was good. I was talking to Jesse at the time when we were trying to figure out what to board against Unchained. He did land on Marionette Mite. Blue Eyes was good for a few months, but it was never a Side Wars DD crew. This card was good against Rytron. Who told you to play Murmur of the Forest against Kashtira? Soul Release was good. Wasu! Furikara Div Incarnate was really good. Did this card ever do anything? Yes! There is no way you're doing this about Chaos Hunter. This one's my fault. This didn't happen more than once.